In a world where you can be anything, be pink.
Are you ready to transform your golf game and life to amazing? Learn with us on the Be Pink podcast hosted by Presley and Sarah Cordova. Hi guys, welcome back to the Be Pink podcast. I'm your host Presley Pickron with my co-host Sarah Cordova.
Hi.
Now, Sarah, are you subscribed to us on our YouTube channel?
Is that even a question? Of course I am.
Okay, well you better be because we don't want you to miss out on any of our information.
So if you guys go and subscribe to Be Pink Golf, you'll become part of the hive.
Perfect. Now, Sarah, where did we leave off on our last podcast?
Wait, Presley, we left off talking about our logo and my favorite part of our logo. Now, we talked about the B, and the B stands for becoming. So if you're going to become anything, become amazing.
I love it. And staying with our logo, I want to go ahead and talk about the pink. Now, pink is an acronym. I want to go ahead and stress each letter, though. So the first letter is positive thinking. Now, I came up with this acronym about a year ago, trying to get me through the whole process from high school to college, just to kind of focus and make me a little bit more serious on golf. So the way I think of it is when I'm golfing and I'm kind of an inconsistent player, so I might have just come off a quad or a double, went to the water, how that is so hard to think positive. Like, you're like, why am I here? What the heck? Like, why is this happening to me? This always happens. You have those thoughts. Mm-hmm. And it's just so hard to bounce back and be like, you know what? No, I got this. It's all about the comeback. Like those don't come to my head, especially me personally. Those don't come to my head very quick. I'm pretty a negative Nelly sometimes. Like
negative Nelly.
Yeah, and like a couple days ago, we played a practice round. Not even a practice round, a qualifier. Like, it meant something in 25-mile-an-hour winds with 40-mile-an-hour winds gusts. So it was all over the place, and most of the time it was in our faces, and I didn't want to be there from the start. I kind of was a little tired that day, and I just wasn't in the mood for it, and I looked at our assistant coach, and I said, listen, I don't want to be here. This is not fun. And he literally looked at me and said, we don't want you here if you're going to have that attitude. And it kind of like took me back. I was like, oh, well, I want you to want me to be here, so I guess I should change my attitude, Like, that's so hard to hear. We don't want you here. Because that negative energy, that negative feelings is just everyone else is gonna feel that way.
Yeah, and I don't think he meant it in a way that was like, oh, we don't want you here because you're not attitude. But he's like, really, like, if you really think about it, why would you, if you don't want to be here, why would you want to be here bringing that negative attitude into it?
No, I did not mean it like that. I totally know. He said it to like kind of like a reality check. Like, come on. Like, we all go through things like this. Like, let's not jump to the worst on every situation. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It kind of helped me. I'm kind of a strong personality, so it kind of put me back into check. Like, I am not entitled to be here. Like, I have to still work to be at practice. Mm-hmm. I have to work to keep my spot on this team.
Exactly.
So I don't know. Like, positive thinking it's getting easier, like, as I work on it, but it's definitely not, like, just like that. Like,
yeah, it doesn't come overnight.
Oh, no. Like, I have so many feelings that I wish I could just change. But all of my close friends and family know that I am not the best at positive thinking. I know, like, we're pretty close, similar. Mm-hmm. But I think one of the major differences between us is our thinking. Like, you are so positive. Like, every time, either you have a good round or a bad round, you're the same. You're positive, you're happy, you're like, hey, how's it going? How's your round? Like, if I had a bad round, I'm like, don't talk to me. Whereas you're like, you're so happy to be around all the time, Oh. So how do you do that? I want to know. I want to be like that.
Oh my gosh. Well, let me start with being positive, because it is not something that comes easy, and I still struggle just as much as you do. You didn't see my round. We were actually paired up in different groups, so we didn't get to kind of feed off each other. And I feel like when we do play together, we can kind of go back and forth, be like, hey, Presley, you can be a little bit more positive, like, keep going, you still have some golf left to play. If I'm having a bad hole, you're really encouraging. And I feel like we do play well together, but this time, sadly, we weren't paired together. It was the worst round I have ever shot in the last 3 years. Like, I'm talking like hundreds. And going from shooting 83 in a tournament, our first tournament, the second day, to I didn't even look at my scorecard or my stats at the end of the round, to probably being in the hundreds, because the amount of penalties that I had to take on one single hole, it's uncanny. Number 8, I was doing okay up until then. Actually, that's a lie. I was doing terrible after the first 3 holes. I had already got into some trouble. My first shot, I was like, wow, that drive was so good. I can like kind of pick up my game and be okay at the end of this. Like, it's not going to be my best front nine, but it's going to be an okay front nine. Oh boy, was I wrong. First ball went into the water. Had to take a penalty drop. Second ball, hit a tree, came back right at me. Had to hit it from the exact same spot where I took my drop. Third ball goes way past the green into the water again. So after my first drop, my penalty drop for it being unplayable, my actual third shot with all the penalty strokes was 3 penalty shots. And then I don't even know what I got on that hole, but I know it was close to like a 9.
My heart is aching, is hurting for you because I've been there before.
And that's when I lost it. So, I literally started crying.
So I don't like, I feel like sometimes it's hard to hear like, oh, like it was just the conditions. But like to give yourself that benefit of the doubt, like I don't know about you, but I've never played in any crazier conditions than that.
No, neither have I. And I think like I'm so used to being positive when I'm playing, like this kind of like you said, a little bit of a reality check. I was like, this is like one of the first times where I've had to really like push and really think to stay positive. Like I had to actively and consciously tell myself, think positive. Like you can do this. Like, yeah, these aren't the best conditions, but you're capable of finishing this out strong. And did I think positive? No. So
yeah,
it's something that I definitely like. I'm not used to having to work on being positive because normally I am, but I definitely think it's something that everyone can work on, but I'm just starting to work on because I haven't ever really had to before.
Yeah. So kind of going on a different aspect of positive thinking, I remember like I would talk to people and I'd be like, what's your worst shot of golf, you know? And I've always heard like, oh, I'm the worst at chipping. I'm the worst at this. And I would kind of like get that mentality, you know? So then I would say, oh, I'm the worst at bunkers. And then I would go into a bunker and I'd tell myself, I'm the worst at bunkers. It was awful. I didn't know how to hit a bunker shot. So then I went to a coach and they were like, you're kind of a head case. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to take that and I'm going to fix it, but I'm going to own it. I am such a head case on the golf course. If you know me, if you've ever played with me, sometimes I slam my club. Sometimes I'm just don't talk to me. Like, it is bad. Like, it's crazy up in here. The 6 inches between my ears, it needs some taming. So I took this advice and I said, that's probably why I'm shooting so bad sometimes. That's probably why I give up so many mental strokes. I walk away from a hole, don't erase it. I don't forgive myself, and I hold on to it, and I'm so angry that I can't let go. I can't just, you know what, I'm going to forgive myself. I got this, you know? So same thing going back to bunkers. She's like, you need to tell yourself that this is going right by the pin. And I was like, okay, but it's not. And she's like, okay, stop. Like, what are you even saying? So I took that mentality, I practiced, and I'm actually very proud to say that bunkers are probably one of my favorite shots now. I'm so comfortable in a bunker. I know where it's going. Of course there's going to be bad shots. There's always bad shots in golf. Like, golf is a game of misses. Like, and it's just, like, telling yourself, like, you can do it. Mm-hmm. Like, and I love teaching positive. People that. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I don't want to do this right now. Like, I don't want to play golf. Okay, then you're going to shoot bad because then you're not even, like, in the moment.
Exactly. Like many times, like, kind of going off what they're saying, like, you have to tell yourself, like, I can do this. You know, we'll be playing, like, around with the guys or, like, even some of our girl teams, somebody like, oh, this shot's over the water. Like, I'm going to hit in the water. Like, well, yeah, if you think that way, if you think negatively, of course you're going to hit in the water because your mind's going to want to go to the first thing that you're thinking of. Yeah. But a way to kind of like counteract that and get better and to, like you said, how do you be so positive? Like, I always tell myself, like, there's no reason I can't make this putt. There's no reason I can't make this shot.
Yeah.
And I'm still getting comfortable with the outcome because it doesn't always happen the way I want it to. But I think if I always think positive, like if I think the best that can happen and not the worst, my outcome's most likely going to be more positive than my worst.
Yeah. So kind of taking this into like a life perspective, I did not have the very most positive thoughts about high school. I wanted to get out, and I did get out. I hated it. like, I was so negative. I'm like, I hate everyone there, which is not true. I just told myself that. I'm like, I'm so different. I play golf. What girl plays golf? You know, like, I just was so, like, why would I tell I'm like, literally, like, doing that to myself. Like, looking back, like, I had such a bad high school experience because I did it to myself. Like, it's my fault. Like, if I would have entered in those doors and I would have said, I'm going to have the best day today. I'm going to talk to everyone. I'm going to be everyone's friend. I'm not going to care what anyone thinks about me. I love myself. I'm a great golfer. I am good at academics. I would have loved high school. I would have had the best time. Like, I would have literally come home and my mom would be like, how's your day today? I would have been, oh my gosh, it was amazing. I was so productive. Whereas I'm pretty sure my mom can tell you countless. I'm like, well, this happened, and then this happened, and that happened, and it was all my fault. Like, she would tell me every day, like, okay, well, don't cry to me because it's your fault. And I'm like, it was so harsh at the time, but it's so true. Like, you are in control of your emotions. You're in control of your actions. You're in control of your thoughts, which is such, like, a lot to take in because you don't want to take accountability for that. You want to be like, oh, well, I feel this way because they did something. I feel this way because I got bad luck and my ball went into the water. Okay, well, you need to take accountability and be like, okay, let's change this and let's realize, okay, from this water, take a drop. I can get up and down and make a reasonable score. You can do that with life too. Yeah. It's positive thinking is such a core value to learn and to, like, implement in your, just like a daily thing. Like,
it's not just you can it's a game changer for golf, but also for, like, life. Like,
oh, I agree.
It is what you make of it. It is what, like, whatever, like, life gives you, it is what you do with what life has given you.
Oh, I agree.
Because you can either choose, oh, I'm the third player, I'm playing third man, or I'm playing fourth man on my team, like, I'm just going to settle for that. Like, no, like, what are you going to do to get better? What are you going to do to play second man? What are you going to do to play third man? What are you going to do? It's, like, your choice. If you want to stay shooting, they say 90. If you want to stay shooting 90, go ahead, stay shooting 90. But it's like, what can I do to choose to be positive about the situation? Now, I might not be where I want to be right now, but it's how I handle what I've been given to get where I want to be.
Yeah. So, kind of like the whole placing in a team, my whole high school, I was 5. And I was so upset about it. I'm like, I don't want to be 5. But in reality, I deserved to be 5. I did not put in the work in. I did not think positive. I did not get my butt to the range and say, I don't want to be 5 anymore. Like, I talked with my mouth. I said, I don't want to be 5 anymore. This is ridiculous. But literally, everyone's like, what? Like, you don't do anything to not be 5. I mean, they didn't tell me that, but I know everyone was thinking that because it's true. Looking back, I'm like, I even might have even been deserved to be 6.
Actions speak louder than words.
My dad taught me the number one thing that I will always keep in my life is talk with your sticks. I will never go up to anyone. I will never in my head say, oh, I'm way better than them. Like, I'm so beating them today. No, talk with your sticks. Let your sticks do the talking. Let's really see. Like, why would you ever think that you have the, accountability or even the option to think that way about people? Like, that is so ridiculous. Mm-mm. Like, I hope today they play good so that I have a good competition. I hope we all reach our goals today. Like, that is such a hard thing to get to because everyone's competitive. I'm competitive. Why would you want to, why would you want to help your competition out?
Exactly.
But it's like it would just be so much of a better day.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing is, like, it's not hard thinking positive, but it's hard staying positive. Because you can have, like, a bad hole and you can be like, oh, I can change my mindset. You have a good hole and then the next tee shot's, like, terrible and you're like, oh, I'm back to the way I was thinking. Like, it's easy to think positive, but it's hard to stay positive.
Yeah.
And I think something that I, like, have taken from learning this acronym from you and, like, learning about it and really diving into it is it's not about perfection. Because if you're so focused on perfection, then you're going to, like, get frustrated and you're going to be like, I want to be positive the whole time. Like, in reality, that's not going to happen. No one's perfect. Your game's not perfect. No golf shot's going to be perfect. It's literally not about perfection. It's about progression. And I think that's how you stay positive, is knowing it's not going to be perfect, but that there's chance for growth and learning. Yeah. And that you just accept your mistakes and your bad shots and you learn from it.
I love that. I love that little saying because I feel like if you focus on progression, you're not comparing yourself to other people. You're comparing yourself to yourself. You're comparing yourself to last tournament score, right? Mm-hmm. You're progressing, even if it's one stroke.
Exactly.
You're still bettering yourself. There's still so many lessons to learn.
And I think that's what I love about golf is, like, it's not just about the lessons that golf teaches you, but like how you can apply it in life too. Like, how do I say this to make it like come out clear? I'm trying to think real quick. I really think that it's awesome because I'm lost, man. I can't think of it right now.
No, I
have something that I wanted to go.
I think I kind of can see the way you're going. I think people spend so much time wasting negative energy on saying, oh, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to beat everyone here and I should be the best and I want to play one, and you spend so much time. No, that's not how you should be thinking. And I'm so guilty of it. Trust me, there's so many tournaments I'm like, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna beat everyone. Okay, that's never really happened before, and I don't know why I keep telling myself that. And first of all, that's so much negative energy. Like, let's just focus on yourself. Focusing on yourself in golf, in life, will get you so much farther. Let everyone do them. Let everyone focus on them. Why would I focus on them?
Exactly. I think that I remember what I was going to bring up now. I forgot. I'm blanked for a second. That's what I love about golf is it's an individual sport. Like, yeah, we play on a team and we can make team scores and we can win tournaments together as a team. But, like, individually, it's not about you and that other girl that you're paired up with. It's about you, the golf course, and your golf clubs. It's not about anybody else. Because if you're spending your time worried about everybody else, your mindset's going to be all over the place. And, like, that's the coolest thing about golf is it's literally just you and the golf course. That's your competition, you and yourself, not anybody else.
No, I love it. And I just think, like, the biggest point to take from the P in pink is I love that it's first of all, because I feel like it's the number one thing that you should get in the habit of. Like, you can't do all the other letters without positive thinking.
Yeah, because without a good mindset, none of that stuff is going to fall into place.
Yeah, you're going to be inconsistent, and I can say it with experience. I could be the most inconsistent up and down emotional golfer because I did not think positive. I was always so down. Like,
your mindset literally sets the tone for your whole game.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree.
I know. But I think with our logo, each episode we're going to keep diving in deeper about what it means to us.
I'm so excited.
I'm really glad that we got to talk about P because it's positive thinking, and I think that's really like a good foundation to start on is your mentality.
I think it's a foundation for all of the letters, like I was saying. Like, it's such like a perfect, it's like the first step, I feel like, of maturing on the golf course.
Like, first step.
Like, maturity, positive thinking. Like, that's so
I think
hard.
it's just growing. But I can't wait to get into the other letters and see how it all kind of comes together so you guys can see why this whole logo and this whole podcast is so special to us. But until then, I want all of our listeners and viewers to always think pink, do pink, and be pink.